Chapter 5, Shore Leave. Adele pushes herself up from your dressing table, crossing her arms angrily against her chest as she confronts you. Well, where on earth have you been? You've disappeared hours ago. I was out admiring the view. The view of the sunset. It's beautiful as it slips below the horizon. At night, I must have lost track of time. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter what you were doing, Violet. What matters is that you were out at night, unsupervised. It could have harmed your reputation. She seems far more concerned about your reputation than your well-being. And a wave of frustration washes through you. So what? Why does it matter so much to you? It matters because our family is bankrupt. Her shoulders slump as you gape at her in disbelief. What do you mean, bankrupt? A series of bad investments obliterated the family's fortune last year. Our parents have barely been able to keep the family home. At the sight of your sister's woe-begone face, realization dawns inside of you. This is why you've been so adamant about me finding a suitor, isn't it? Yes, I'm sorry this has fallen on you, Violet. But without a wealthy husband to tie to the family, we could lose our house, our social standing, everything. So you must make a real effort to find a suitor, don't you see? Our whole family's future depends on it. I don't know if I can do that. I need some time to think about it, Adele, alone. Your sister opens her mouth as if to demand an answer, but thinks better of it. Of course, I know this is a lot to take in. Good night. With a final, sad smile, Adele quietly lets herself out of the room. The second she's gone, shock, anger, grief wash over you. Stifling a sob, you throw yourself down on the luxurious bed. I knew Theo and I could never actually be together. My family would never have approved of a poor stoker. You've only just met him, yet your heart still feels as though it's shattered into a million pieces. Even if I don't agree to one of Adele's approved suitors, this can't last. Women like me aren't supposed to be with men like him. Some part of you has always known that, but admitting it is just a bitter pill to swallow. I have to break things off with Theo. We're docking in Ireland tomorrow. I can enjoy one last day with him. Tears spill down your cheeks as you bury your face in your hands, and then put an end to the dalliance. No matter how much it hurts. The next morning you wake up with a heavy heart, but your glum reverie is broken when Adele bursts inside carrying a new dress in her arms. Good morning, Violet. I hope you slept well. You resist the urge to snap that you barely slept at all. Although judging from the dark circles beneath her eyes, I'm not the only one. Listen, I know you'd hoped to go ashore today. I won't be able to join you. I want you to have fun. So I thought a new dress might help lift your spirits. She gives you a tentative smile and holds the dress up for you to see. I suppose this is her way of apologizing for keeping our family's debt a secret with a gorgeous dress. But if it truly is my last day to see Theo, to be alone with him, I want to look my best. Interesting dress. Thank you, Adele. It's beautiful. As you twirl back and forth in front of the mirror, you can feel your spirits lifting already. You look wonderful, truly. I hope you know that even with the pressure you're under, I really do want you to enjoy this voyage. Make the most of your day in Ireland, won't you? You can feel a whole mix of emotions at the secret Adele just revealed, but seeing her hopeful smile, it's hard not to smile back. I will. Just try not to do anything I wouldn't do. Too late. A short time later, you step off the boat into a quaint Irish town. Despite the dark thoughts lingering in your mind, everywhere you look, there are new sights, new sounds, and new people. It's all so well new. If only I could stop thinking about Thea. But the sooner I break things off, the less it will hurt when the voyage ends. You gather your skirts and set off through the town, determined to at least see the sights, but before long a familiar voice calls your name. Violet. You look nice. You turn to see Theo standing just a few yards away, grinning at you. The excitement of seeing him only sharpens the ache in your heart. Theo's eyes widen in appreciation as he gets close enough to fully admire the elegant curves and folds of your dress. Wow. You look like a dream. Why, thank you. But I think you're missing this. He looks around, plucking a sprig of delicate flower from a nearby garden. With a flourish, he presents them to you. Would you tuck them into my dress? Thank you for being thoughtful. Thank you for being thoughtful. Your fingertips brush his as you take the flowers, but that small moment of contact is enough to send a swirl of heat through your body. They're lovely. Not as lovely as you. Flushing with pleasure, you tuck the blossoms into your dress. You flatter me when I should have been the one flattering you. I've never seen you dressed up. You look very fetching. Away from the Titanic with no Adele inside, you let your gaze wander down the deep V of his shirt, admiring the way it accentuates his strong shoulders and broad chest. When you glance back up to meet his gaze, Theo's smiling, flattered by the attention. It's not much, but I'm glad you like it. Oh, I've visited this town a few times before on other ships, so I was thinking if I ran into you, I could show you around. Hearing that he's dressed up to see you, your heart gives an unsteady lurch. Her words from last night ring in your ear, however. Without a wealthy husband to tie to the family, we could lose everything. I would like that very much. It would be rude to refuse, and I deserve to enjoy myself one more time. We deserve it. You smile brightly back at Theo, pushing your misgivings to the side for a little longer. Good, then I know just the spot. He starts leading you down the street, and as you follow, your hand gently brushes against his. He gives you a small, encouraging smile. You glance around, but Adele is back on the ship, and there are no other passengers in sight. I'll keep following him. Take his hand. For just a moment, you reach out to grasp his hand. He responds by lacing his fingers through yours, and the touch is stirring, even though it makes your heart ache anew. Good thinking, staying close. I'd hate for you to get lost. Yeah, so would I. The only thing is, we'll need to go on horseback for this trip. On horseback? Theo chuckles softly. It's spoken like a true city girl. I was going to get a horse for each of us, but I'm not sure how much riding you've done. So, if you'd be more comfortable, you could ride in my saddle with me. I could even show you a few more stops along the way. At his smile, familiar tendrils of heat spiral through you in response. The thought of his body pressed against yours in the saddle sends another delicious curl of heat pulsing through your veins. We have so little time left together, why not make the last of it as long as possible? Let's ride together. It has been a while since I've ridden. And you know what they say, better safe than sorry. Leading you to a nearby stable, Theo walks a horse out of its stall and helps you step one foot into the stirrup. As you grasp the pommel, he slides his hands around your waist. You shiver as his thumbs lightly trace the curves of your hips. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Swinging a leg over the saddle, feeling your skirts ride up slightly as Theo's strong arms lift you easily onto the horse. He swings up next, settling into the saddle behind you. You're acutely aware of every inch of his warm body pressed against your back. How does that feel? It feels very, secure. He laughs, slipping his hands around your waist. He unloops the reins from the pommel. Remember, not too loose, not too tight. He hands you the reins, his fingers brushing against yours in a soft caress. You do your best to concentrate on the task at hand. Like this. Just a little tighter here, let me show you. A shiver of anticipation runs through you as Theo's work-roughened hands close over yours, helping you guide the reins. With his comforting presence at your back, you set off down the road. Before long, you're winding your way through the Irish hills, leaving the small seaside town behind you. What an exquisite view. Despite the wild beauty of the rolling green hills, Theo hardly looks at them. When you glance behind you, you see him smiling at you instead. Yes, it is. Feeling your cheeks flush with heat, you look away towards the path up ahead. What a charming little stream. The stream we'll have to cross. You might want to hold on to the pommel. You hold on tight as he spurs the horse forward and starts wading across water, eddying around its ankles. Theo rests his hands on your waist, steadying you. Almost lift your feet up out of the stirrups a little. There we go. You do as he says, and your skirts stay dry as the horse reaches solid ground on the opposite side of the stream. Lean back. With his hands still gently resting on your waist, you shift back a little in the saddle, moving closer to him. It's a good thing you're here to steady me, or I would have tipped headfirst into that stream. Pressing close against you, you can feel more than hear the low rumble of his easy laugh. Warmth spreads through you in response. I wouldn't be so sure about that. He gently nudges your leg with his own strong thigh. When he speaks, his voice is teasing. If anyone can land on their feet, you can. As you make your way along the road, you spot a towering hawthorn standing on the other side of a bare hill. Noting your gaze, Theo speaks up. The people here say that hawthorn is a fairy tree. I've heard of those. You're supposed to tie a strip of torn cloth to the branches before making a wish. That's right. Locals say that if you sleep on top of that hill at night, points out a hill to your left, slightly higher than any of the others. You'll wake up in the morning as a poet, not to mention freezing cold and covered in dirt. That reminds me of a story from a book of fairy tales I owned as a child. It gave me nightmares, but I still used to read it every night. At least there's no shame in being scared by a book. When I was young, I was scared of a painting over my bed. A painting of what? Well, if I'm being honest, it was just a landscape with some sheep grazing on the hills. Raise an eyebrow at him, trying not to laugh, and Theo goes on laughing a little himself. Don't judge their little eyes would follow me across the room, imagining a herd of sheep watching you sleep every night. I guess I can't blame you for being a little frightened. When I was young, I believed in ghosts. He gave a dramatic shiver, leaning more closely into his solid warmth. I used to imagine they walked the halls of my family's home at night. I'd spring into the hallway with a candle every time I heard footsteps out the door, hoping to catch one. Well, did you? Nope, for better or for worse. Although I did once catch Adele sneaking down to the kitchen for more cake. Your prim and proper sister stealing cake from the kitchen. I guess everyone has their own surprises. And compared to ghosts and painted sheep, I like that the stories here are more, romantic. Exactly. Thea's amusement fills your chest with warmth, but the longer you ride, the more the smile fades from your lips. I wish we could spend time like this every day, but this will likely be the last day I ever see him. After I... Just a little further, we just have to get up that trail. Of course. Theo guides the horse up a winding trail into the hills. You're a better rider than you gave yourself credit for, you know. Well, you seem to be doing most of the work. As you turn to smile at him, your hips naturally shift in the saddle, pressing your bodies a little closer together. Let's call it a group effort. The saddle rolls beneath you, rocking Theo's hips forward against yours, and between his easy words and the constant movement, it's undeniable. You're starting to feel a bit flushed. Shift my hips against his. Your breath grows faster as you press yourself backwards, shifting ever so slightly into the saddle. Flush against its waist, you begin to rock gently in time to the motion beneath you. With him pressed close enough behind you, the curve of the saddle hits the apex of your thighs in a spot that sends a surprising jolt of pleasure through you. Oh. The warmth blossoms between your legs, and you suddenly feel the evidence of Theo's own arousal pressed against you from behind. Enjoying the ride, are you? You make a good riding partner. His hand grips your waist, and he shifts your hips forward, encouraging you to roll them against them. The sensation is incredibly arousing. You let your legs spread wider against the saddles. Theo shifts behind you, letting out a soft groan. So, do you... You roll your hips again, reveling in the sudden friction. But before things can go much further, he pulls away with a reluctant groan. Damn. I hate to interrupt, but I think we're here. You reach a beautiful cliffside, overlooking the ocean. Flowers sway in the wind. There's a tang of salt spray in the air, even at this height. Here, let me help you. Sliding easily off the horse, he takes your hand, steadying you as you dismount. For just a moment, his hand lingers in a soft caress. Violet, you took a stimulating ride with Theo. Yes. Your breath quickens, your heart beating wildly in your chest, and then Theo lets go of your hand to gesture at the view. What do you think? Oh, Theo, it's wonderful. Yes, it is. Even on a cloudy day, the view from the cliff is breathtaking. You peer down at the endless blue ocean rolling out from the coastline below. I can see the Titanic all the way back to its dock. It looks so small from here. That's why I wanted to show you this place. When you're at sea, a ship can feel like the whole world, but stops like this help remind me the real world is so much bigger. He gestures around you at the magnificent surroundings, and sometimes it's nice to replace a sea of blue with a sea of rolling green hills. I never thought of it that way before. Before this trip, my world was always felt so small, so confining. I'm glad I got a chance to experience something bigger, at least for a little while. You gaze up at him, searching for the right words to convey the depths of your feelings. Thank you for sharing this with me, truly. It's a memory I'll cherish forever. I should be the one thanking you. Being here with you makes me feel like I'm seeing the world for the first time all over again. At the sight of his earnest smile, your heart twists in pain, remembering what really brought you out here. I need to tell him the truth now before it gets any harder. I'll look him in the eyes as I tell him. Gathering your courage, you step closer to him, laying a hand on his arm. At the sight of your expression, concern gathers in his eyes. Are you all right? I wish I could say yes, but we need to talk. Your words are cut off as the clouds overhead suddenly open up into a downpour. Within seconds, the rain is soaking through your clothing. We can't stay out here like this. This way. I think I saw a cottage down the path. He grabs your hand as you stumble through the rain down a cliffside path. You're both breathless, drenched by the time you reach the cottage door. Looks empty, lucky us. To your relief, the door is unlocked. You push it open and rush inside with Theo. The moment he closes the door, the patter of rain outside is replaced by the patter of water dripping from your drenched skirts and Theo's slacks. Oh dear, I'm soaked. We can fix that. The last person to stay here left us some firewood. Theo bustles around the fireplace, easily hefting some logs into it. Before long, a small fire is crackling in the hearth. Shivering, you bend over, trying to wring the worst of the water from your clothing. Here, let me help. Stepping forward, he gathers your long skirt in his strong hands, wringing it out. Each touch brings a little warmth back into your body as more water pools onto the floor. And despite what you have to tell him, his touch is intoxicating. Thank you. Could you dry more of my skirt? He nods slowly. He holds your gaze as he slides his hands higher, bunching up the skirt around your thighs as he wrings out more water. Through the soaked fabric, his strong hands brush your legs, droplets spatter to the floor, the rhythm mimicking the bracing of your heart. That better? A little. His forehead creases with concern. He takes a step closer to cup your cheek with one hand, his drenched shirt clinging to his muscled chest. You're still shivering. Despite the chill of your soaking clothes, heat crackles between you. He's so close that you can make out every fleck of color in his eyes. All you want to do is close the distance to taste his lips on yours again, but you force yourself to pull away. Violet, what's wrong? It's my family, this engagement. They want me to find... I know. I understand. No, you don't, because I don't until Adele told me last night. We're broke, Theo. My parents have barely managed to keep our house. Their only hope is I find a proper suitor. I'm not sure if I will, or if I can even stomach the idea, but even if I can fend off every wealthy gentleman Adele finds, we both knew our time together could never last. So what are you saying? That I can't do this anymore. And I hate that they put me in this position. I never asked for this. They never gave me the slightest hint that our money was dwindling. And yet they expect me to fix all the buy the wedding myself to the wealthiest bidder. You wipe at your eyes with the edge of a damp sleeve. His shocked expression turns to one of sympathy. I'm sorry, Violet. I know what it's like to be one paycheck away from losing your home. But that doesn't make it fair for them to pin all their hopes on you. Tenderly, he reaches out, wiping a tear from your cheek with his thumb. Isn't there any way to keep the family afloat? I don't know if there is. There has to be. I'm sorry your family's in this position, I mean that, but all that you've told me is that they want you to do. What do you want, Violet? I want to marry for love. Just because one wants something doesn't mean one can have it. He shakes his head in disbelief, looking at you with so much sympathy that your heart lurches in your chest. You've got a spark in you, Violet. I can't picture you spending the rest of your life in a loveless marriage, letting that spark flicker out. You bite your lip as a tumble of emotions whirls inside you, his dark eyes with passion. Theo steps forward, closing the gap between you. Forget what your family wants just for a moment and tell me the truth. What do you, Violet Calhoun, really want? The answer is standing right before you. Certainty floods through you as if some dam is broken, and you step forward, your mouth finding his in a passionate kiss. He returns your kiss with equal fervor, his hands twining behind your neck to pull you even closer. Violet. There's an urgency to the kiss that you've never felt before, a desperation that floods through you with every new press of his lips on yours. Theo. He presses closer, molding his body to yours. You part your lips as his tongue slips skillfully into your mouth. For a long moment you cling to each other, his questing tongue sending wave after wave of pleasure through you. Deepen the kiss. Giving in your instincts, you clutch Theo closer, the curves of your breasts skim lightly against his chest. Daringly, you slip your tongue into his mouth in return, desperate to explore every inch of him. Oh, Theo. His mouth is warm, wet, a hint of salt water still clinging to his lips. The taste of him is intoxicating. You slip your hands lower, the damp fabric of his shirt catching roughly against your fingers. You can feel the warmth of his skin through a contrast to the goosebumps rising on your skin, and the heat of your desire burns stronger than the fire crackling in the hearth. I'll have him unbutton my dress. Can you? My dress. Breath catches in your throat as he reaches out, slipping the first button of your dress free. Yes. His calloused fingers are warm and sure against your bare skin, his lightest touch making you shiver with need. Theo moves with a deliberate slowness, taking his time with the small, delicate buttons of your new outfit. Your breath catches as he leans closer, whispering softly in your ear. Have I mentioned how much I like this dress? Yes, but you could tell me again. You shudder in pleasure as his calloused hands linger purposely against your delicate skin, stroking the teasing as he makes his way lower and lower. I like it, and I like it even better off of you. With each button that he unfastens, his breath grows more and more ragged. By the time he slips the damn fabric off your dress past your waist, leaving you naked except for your underthings, his voice is tight with need. God, Violet. Wait, you two. The fingers that shake only slightly, you quickly undo the buttons of his vest and shirt, tossing the rough material to the floor. In the warm glow of the crackling fire, Theo steps back, his hot gaze sliding up and down the length of your exposed body. You're the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Your veins are already thrumming with heat, but his words stoke those inner fire flames, even higher as firelight flicks over your bare skin. I don't know how anyone could resist you. Then don't. Your body burning with need, you close the distance between you. His mouth comes close, possessively over yours. His hands slip over the curve of your bare waist, dexterous fingers stroking your breast through the thin fabric of your brassiere. Violet, tell me what you want. I want you to touch me. It's hard to think straight with his lips claiming every inch of your skin he can find. Where? Lower. He gives your top nipples a gentle squeeze before moving lower, his warm gaze fastened tightly on yours. Slowly, ever so slowly, his hands slip down your waist, tracing the soft swell of your hips. Like this. Yes. Your head swims as he inches his way downward, his touch sending tendrils of heat spiraling through your body. You've never felt anything so unbelievably erotic before. You've never imagined it. You gasp as his hands slip between your thighs. Basically, they did, handsies. He takes a long, shaky breath, and you're suddenly aware that you're trembling. Your senses still dizzy from everything you just experienced. We should probably head back soon. He gathers you to him one last time, pressing a heated kiss to your lips. Yes. For one more moment, you lose yourself in a swirl of heat and desire, and then, pulling gently away, you reach for your discarded clothing. The two of you help each other dress in your now dry clothing. As you straighten your skirts, Theo gives you a small smile. So I'll take that as your answer about what you want. I do want you. But if we were ever caught together, it would destroy my family's reputation and mine. And you'd likely face your own consequences. I don't give a damn about consequences if it means I can keep seeing you. I want to be with you, Violet, no matter what. You consider the years of resignation that lie ahead of you. Endless luncheons with some wealthy but dull husband, each day suffocating beneath you the expectations of being a proper wife. Weighing that against the joy of a few more days together, your resolve crumbles. Then I want that too, so long as we're careful. I'm always careful. He smiles and sweeps you into his arms for one more kiss. You sink beneath his embrace, reveling into the feeling of him. Once I'm home, this has to end for good. But at least for now I can have him, and I mean to hold on as long as I can. Like a life preserver when the ship sinks. What? Without further ado, thanks for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And check out the comment section down below. Plenty of things to check out, ways to support, and the whole 9 yards. With that being said, I'll just say this. When it comes to the scene that you're not able to watch because it's YouTube, pretty much, YouTube is just getting a little bit more risque. Pretty much if I was to show that scene, and read it to you on any platform, and I mean any platform, that doesn't allow risque behavior, which is pretty much a lot of the places that host a mixture of content. YouTube, the purple thing, the green and, black place, things like that. Basically, because I can't say them because YouTube gets angry if you talk about anywhere else. Basically, they would pretty much have to be removing the content as well. Choices just doesn't care about that. And it's really weird that that's the case. Because it's endangering not just this app, but it's endangering a lot of content creators, such as myself, that if we cover that at all, that, we can literally get our channels taken away. And it's also something that, I don't know, it's just, I don't know, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I like being, I don't know, I mean, one, this channel is supposed to be a family, it's supposed to be a community, it's supposed to be for everyone, and I don't want to be just some channel that covers Bound Chicka Wow Wow, let's be honest, and almost every chapter has that. I also don't want to be someone, I don't know, I like to share things or read things per se, or whatever, between a significant other, like a girlfriend or whatnot. And I don't know, when I first started reading Choices and they had those types of scenes, which they've got more and more risque and whatnot since then, I kind of felt really embarrassed reading some of those scenes back when we could. And it made me uncomfortable, I'm going to be honest with you. It's just something that I typically share intimate things with someone that I care about. That's about the best way to put it. So, I don't know. I still kind of feel the same way. I don't like covering those scenes. I know that you guys want to watch them, especially those of you who do not or cannot do the VIP. But at the same time, it just, I'm kind of glad we kind of skip them in a way, and I'm kind of glad we're forced to, but at the same time, choices just continues to push the envelope. If these scenes were shown at all to Google, by the way, if these scenes, which they don't thoroughly check everything choices puts out, if these scenes were shared with Google, this app would be removed from the Play Store. I want you to know that. It would actually be removed from Apple iTunes as well. Again, these app hosting services, they have rules, and we've talked about this. And pretty much, long story short, is again, if these things were shown to Google due to their new rules and everything that we talked about when they went into effect, this app would be removed. Choices would literally and figuratively have to change. And I'm not saying that we should go, tell on them. I'm just saying that they're pushing the envelope for one day for someone who's just tired of their crap to just go tell Google. I'm just saying. That being said, thanks again for watching. Let me know your thoughts down below. Peace out.